Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Toon Review and a massive Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you had a fantastic New Year's Eve and you're going to have a wonderful 2025. Welcome to the show with myself, Paul, and Alex. As usual, if you do enjoy tonight's transfer show, please hit the thumbs up button. Very important for our channel that we keep those coming in. And of course, if you are new to the channel and you like what you see, please do subscribe. Free to do so. And remember to hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload or a live show in the future. Of course, you can support the channel in the usual two ways. First of all, by membership, which is the join sign or join button, sorry, just underneath myself and Alex. And of course, super chats are available. That's the $ under the live chat, which will help support the channel as well and guarantee your comment to be read out on the show. And finally, a big thank you to Mamaru Records for, of course, sponsoring the channel. If you're ever about in Whitley Bay or near Whitley Bay, check them out in the town centre. Tell Steve you're a TTR viewer and he will do you a very good deal for all your vinyl, your CD music, music merchandise, sporting merchandise, gift cards. He's got a lot. If you can't get into the middle of Whitley Bay, then check them out online. That is pinned at the top of the description. Good evening, Alex.
Good evening, Paul. A Magpie massive, Viewerland inhabitants, and all transfer enthusiasts for tonight.
Indeed. Transfer enthusiasts. That's a good one. YT Pro just sent in a super chat. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Just a quick one before we get into the crux of it. We've got three players obviously to go through tonight. But what did you think? I don't know whether you've seen it actually. It's looking likely that we're going to be bringing a 17-year-old striker in from St Mirren. I can't remember his name. Evan Mooney, I think he's called.
Yep, I've been doing a little bit of. I think his name popped up last night, didn't it? So
yeah.
He's not going to be talked about today, but yeah, it's an interesting, good age profile. Again, we seem to be quite good at picking up those sort of the 15 to 17 age bracket and just poaching them, which we need to do because we need to supplement our academy and our younger players and that sort of pipeline because we don't have one at the moment. The pipe was essentially just broken, and we were just trying to, we were trying to force players through. Whether it was who did we have, like Sorensen, there was there was so many players that just didn't work out.
Yeah. Up the A1, who's been a member now, well, the family's been a member for 32 months on the channel. Thank you, guys. Happy New Year to you. Best wishes for 2025 and continue all the great shows we all love and look forward to every day. And that was from Mrs. Up the A1. Liam says, Happy New Year, guys. I've been working Christmas and New Year, so haven't had been on the live, but caught up. Great stuff as ever. Let's get spending this January. Ollie says, hi, Paul. What has happened to TTR Extra? I can't find it on YouTube anymore. Well, to be blunt, it's gone. We did try it. We gave it our best efforts, but unfortunately, we just haven't got the time at the minute, and we haven't got the staff to run two channels. It was a good idea in concept, but when we actually put it into practice, it was very difficult. Obviously, to run two channels, get things going. So we're just sticking with TTR for now. Grow this channel.
You guys keep supporting us the way you do, then in the future something like that will make a return. But it's just justifying everybody being able to, be making videos hours and hours and hours every single day.
Yeah, it's very difficult. But like Alex says, if we can grow this channel with your help, then that'll be, we can then certainly look to take to the next level with a second channel and a lot more time to do the videos. So not that we're putting any pressure on you guys out there. Bending Johnson says, anyone heard anything about signing that silver centre back from Benfica? Trolls says, Happy New Year all and hope the new year brings good things to us all. Indeed. Ben says Mooney has 1 goal, 1 assist in 4 senior appearances. Seems very promising. He does, but Arsenal are also interested in him again. So it's sort of, I guess, selling the club, which we have to do with the senior players as well. Colin says all the DCL news is so BS surely because we need a striker to push Isak, not get in line probably behind Asula. Well, it seems like he's very well liked by Eddie, but whether he gets the go ahead from hierarchy is different. And look who's joining us on a transfer show. There is a big surprise. Todd Bowley's with us, ladies and gentlemen. Wishing you a happy new year. I look forward to tonight's transfer show. I'm sure he does. Right, let's get straight into it, Alex, and bring up the first player. And this is
before we do that, just to outline for everybody, because I know lots of people are going to throw names in the chat. We are going to make sure we cover as many people as we can throughout this transfer window.
Yeah.
It is January 1st. We've got the entire month, so we will be covering around 3 players per show. We will try and get through all of the necessary players. We'll try and obviously put the most important ones in the shows at the sort of the relevance in time. But we'll try and get as many out as we can. There will be some shows specifically to do with free transfers, expiring contracts for our own squad and potential pickups. We will make sure we cover all areas. So don't worry, we have it covered. I've been planning this since the end of November. So there's lots of different things to go through. So it will be covered, I promise.
Yeah. Predator's been with us for 19 months as a member as well. Thank you, buddy. Hope you're well. Happy New Year to everyone at the TTR and all the Magpie massive in the chat. Let's hope 2025 brings us wealth, health, and happiness. Thank you very much, matey. All right, first player of the evening is Abdikadir Kusanov. Now, I would like to give myself a little pat on the back for this, Alex, because I did him on a news show about 3 days before everybody else started doing them, and it came out in the main press and stuff like that. So I got there first for once, which was nice.
Yeah, he's been linked, I think, 3 times now in waves.
Yeah,
and he got linked by some poorer sources initially, and then a lot of people sort of jumped on it. His name's gained a lot of traction though. It was definitely one I think we really need to put as name number 1 of a transfer show, because he's been so heavily linked and multiple times. He's a centre half, by the way, for people who don't know who he is. So it's definitely warranted that we look at him first.
And I can pronounce his name. I'd just like to say
I think you did well there, to be fair.
Yeah. Niall says, Paul with Uzbek Inside News. Yes, the Uzbek Chronicle. I am very close with. I have numerous contacts at the Uzbekistan Chronicle, which came in handy. Anyway, take it away, Alex. Let's sell this guy.
So the Uzbek from Toshkent, which sounds like it's from somewhere in the Queen's country, doesn't it? It's Toshkent. But he is 20 years old, a few months away from being 21 years old. He is a central defender. I believe he is right-footed, although he's been playing on the left recently. 6'1.5". He's probably 6'2". FBref just does everybody as a half inch for some reason. And he currently plays for Racing Club de Lens in Ligue 1. So we have our first player is...
I love going there, like a club. Everybody, all these European teams with club in it now seem to get the Rafa Benitez treatment with club. It just even the French ones.
Well, just for context, for people who don't know who this is, he's been. A lot of people might have just watched him by accident in the last few months. He's played a few big games against PSG. Might have got sent off in one of those, but we'll come to that. He's played against Arsenal as well this season. So even as a casual fan, you might have seen him by accident. So he's been around. He's been a decent name. He partners in central defence for Lens, Kevin Danso, who me and Billy were huge fans of in the summer tournament. We actually thought he was fantastic, Kevin Danso. So two competent centre halves. And if we scroll down, we can have a look at his data, because it is not bad. So defensive wise, it's pretty beasty. Now this man, if you've seen him play football, I think aggression is an understatement. There have been several matches that I've watched where he appears to leave the ground and you kind of go, because you think he's about to 2-foot someone. He is proper old school with his defending.
He's brutal. He's brutal, Alex. I think is the word. Yeah.
He's an absolute monster. Most recent game with PSG that I think they lost on penalties. He got a big thing on his head, a big patch. He's an absolute warrior. If you see him flinging himself towards you, I'd be terrified as an outfield player, because he is a monster. Not only that, one of the most important things I like about this player is the high level of interceptions as well. 2.34 per 90 in the top 1% in Europe. I normally sort of label this as football intelligence, but I think that's unfair, because it's not always about that. It's about instinct, reading the game, potentially a bit of natural ability, playing for a long time. And again, for such a young player to read the game so well, he's just a freak. He steps into midfield, he robs players. The wide cover as well. The wide cover is fantastic. And we could do with that because we've got very aggressive fullbacks in our team. His physicality as well. He's happy to 50-50. If he's one of these players where if you get 50-50'd, you're going in the advertising boards. He's one of those kinds of players. He's an absolute monster for his age.
We're getting a few comments asking, Alex, is brutal and things like that going to be permitted in the Premier League? Are we worried that he will pick up cards?
It's no different, really, to kind of how Botman plays, Share sometimes to a point, Joe Linton. It's not overly dissimilar. Some of his slide tackles, lunges are a bit heart in mouth. I'm a bit scared he's going to get sent off in a slightly stricter league. I'm surprised he gets away with it in Ligue 1, to be fair. Passing wise is not terrible. Again, Racing Club de Lens, they're in 7th in Ligue 1 right now. They're okay. They're sort of top 6 for possession. They can press high. They've got certain similarities to the way we play in parts.
They're in the Champions League, aren't they, Alex? I'm sure they're in the Champions League this season.
Well, yeah, they played against Arsenal.
Yeah.
So passing wise, not terrible. Well above average for pass completion percentage. Progressive passes as well. So he gets his head up. And again, this is the kind of thing that can be improved. And if we scroll to the right, I've actually put up a little graph of him against Fabian Schär, because that is primarily who you'd probably recruit him for. I appreciate he's playing on the left now, but if we were to go for this kid, I think he would play on the right. And as you can see, Fabian is very good at the silky, sexy stuff. However, if we have a look at the meat and veg, the important stuff, which is pass completion percentage, it's considerably higher, albeit Fabian does try a lot more long balls. And then things like tackles and interceptions, percentage of aerials won, percentage of dribbles tackled, clearances, the really important stuff. He excels in it at such a young age as well. So impressive. And I've actually gone and done something a little bit more detailed. I don't normally do this. So I've actually done a comparison between Kozanov, Fabian Schär, and Mark Gahey in some general statistics, so we can have a look at our different options. And in terms of passing, so you can see that Kozanov has only played about 11 full 90s so far this season. Fabian Schär's played 16. Mark Gahey's played 18. And if we go and have a look at so this is the pass completion percentage. Kozanov actually has the highest pass completion percentage at 88%, which is really, really impressive. The highest for short passes, the second highest for medium, and actually the best for long passes. So smaller sample size, but some really impressive stuff here. And if we go down and have a look at the defensive actions, which is quite interesting as well. So it's best off having a look at percentages here because he's played considerably fewer minutes than the other two. So tackle percentage, much higher, considerably higher than Fabian Schär. Mark Gahey's is top with 71%, but 63 is almost double what Fabian Schär's got in terms of tackle percentage there. And then even the quantity of tackles and interceptions is clear of Gahey and Schär, and he's played 7 or 8 fewer games. So really, really impressive stuff there.
How many yellow cards has he got this year, Alex? Just
2. He's got 2 yellow cards, and Fabian and Gahey are both on 5-ish, I think. So fewer yellow cards, considering how aggressive he's been.
Well, I get the feeling he's very good. He times his tackles to absolute. I mean, I've seen a couple of clips of him. He times them to perfection. Yeah.
So if anybody's watched any clips of him, timing is a really, really good word. It sums it up perfectly because he does often leave the ground really early. Like when he makes that decision, he's got that old school trait as well of when somebody just sticks a foot in and just ends up with the ball, a really old school like Sunday league tackle where you just put the foot in and take it. He's so good at timing that as well against top quality dribblers. He does really well with it. If we have a look at miscellaneous, I think it tells you yellow cards. Yeah, 2 yellow cards for him, whereas Fabian and Mark Gahey are both on 5. He does have the 1 red card, but so does Fabian Schär. So, I mean, it happens.
Well, yeah. I mean, Fabian Schär's wasn't a red, but never mind. It goes down in history, doesn't it?
It does. So, in terms of defensive quality, Lens are joint first. They've only conceded 14 goals this season, which is the same as PSG. So they have the joint best defensive record in Ligue 1. They also are top for clean sheets with 7. And again, he's a permanent fixture in the centre-half position. They are top 6 for average possession. So they are quite comfortable on the ball. They're quite a dominant side. And if we scroll all the way down, somewhere down here, possession 1 in the final third, they are in the top 5 as well. So they can press well, they retain the ball well, they're creative, they've got a good defensive record. It wouldn't be a reason, it wouldn't be a crazy suggestion that his skills would translate well into a side like ours, because he's doing it for a reasonably dominant team in France. And if we have a look here, you can see the actual table. Lens are +5 goal difference, only 14 conceded. And he's been pretty important in those games. He's missed a couple because of that red card and got the suspension. But if we scroll down and have a look at some recent fixtures, this was the 4-3 loss just before Christmas against PSG. So they went to a back 5, which they don't normally use a back 5. But he scored the only goal in this. And then he got subbed off. So he played 89 minutes, scored a goal, 6 clearances, put himself about a little bit. Only 77% passing accuracy. Again, it's PSG. It's a tough ask. But he did quite well in that fixture. We have against Auxerre, I think they returned to a back 4. Yes, they did. So this is more similar to what they generally look like, with Frankowski out as the right back, Danso as the right-sided centre-half, and Kusanov as the left-sided centre-half. And if we scroll over, this was how he did in this game. So 6 clearances, again, really good physicals, 3 out of 4 aerials. Again, he's only 20 years old. And much, much better with the passes in this game. 94% passing accuracy, 96 touches of the ball with 3 accurate long balls as well, and had a shot in this game. So I think his passing is better than his data suggests. I think he's growing and growing and growing and getting more competent. I think this Rem game, I think he might have been suspended for this one. No, he was still in at this point. Danso again with man of the match. Kusanov in this game, 8 clearances. 8 with 4 interceptions. That's a lot of defensive work, that is. That is proper getting stuck in. He won his only ground duel, 3 out of 4 aerials. Again, another 90% passing accuracy. Kid's 20 years old. Really, really, really tidy statistics for somebody so young. And yeah, I think this kid is going to be, he's going to be something. The fact he's doing this at this age is very impressive. He's got a very bright future wherever he ends up.
There's actually various reports today, Alex, state that a deal could be very close for this guy. I generally think this is one transfer that you know, I mean, I know we cover a lot of players because they're linked. We're not saying that they're definitely coming. I think this one has a little bit of traction on it. And a lot of people are saying, well, does that mean that, you know, we've turned our attention away from Gehi? I would think yes. I think the reason I'm saying yes is the fee that we can get this guy for, Alex.
Got to spell his name. Hang on.
Yeah, it's not an arm and a leg. By the way, Kikmatovic is the middle name, if anyone wants me to pronounce that as well, seeing as I'm on a roll.
It is indeed. I didn't try that. He does have 18 caps for Uzbekistan as well. Yeah,
he's I mean, look, Uzbekistan aren't world beaters either, but it's international experience. And, you know, I generally think, I think his valuation, I mean, it says there 12 million. It's not. It's around about 25, what's been targeted in the media. So 25 million pounds for this player, Alex, I think is an absolute bargain.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of, normally when we're looking at transfers like this, you're looking at the risk. You're looking at would they be able to adapt? Would they fit into the social group of the squad? Would they settle in the country? Possibly. Those are probably some of the question marks. Oh, we've got great big ads on Transfer Marks. Here's Transfer
Alex,
Marks.
if he can settle in France, I think he can settle anywhere, to be honest.
It's
not that many Uzbekistanis around.
That's harder to do on this kind of show, unless my job is to be a scout. This is impossible for me to do as a part-time thing. Whereas I'm looking from a footballing perspective. I think his physics. Okay, let's go off Transfer Mark because they just want to sell us stuff. Let's go back on FOTMob. On FB Ref even. I think his physicality, his defensive attributes, the timing of challenges, the quality of challenges, the interceptions, the level he's been playing at as well and doing quite well in Champions League fixtures and, you know, against big teams. He's got the right qualities. And I think the league he's doing it, the team he's doing it in, I think the skills would translate well to a strong Premier League team as well. I think it's, when you're talking about risk, this is considerably lower risk than some of the other centre half options.
I agree.
I think when you weigh up Mark Gahey for 66, what should we say, 50 to 70, whatever range people want to put on that.
Yeah.
It's less risky because he's young, he's Premier League proven, whatever we want to put on that list. But if we're paying 25 mil for this kind of kid, I think it's equal amounts of risk, because if it doesn't work, well, you've not spent 60, you've only spent 25. And I think this is what we talked about pre-transfer window, Paul, in that we can't keep spending 40 to 60 on players. We can't keep going and buying Tonali quality players. Not possible. We will just run out of money. We're not going to be able to do it. So we're going to have to try and the talent ID. This is when Paul Mitchell is going to earn his biscuits. This is how we get to the next level. He's going to have to pull the trigger on appropriate signings that are kind of a little bit risky. And we've done that previously with like Bruno. A few clubs were like, maybe not. A few people were a bit scared to take a risk on Isak. So I'm not saying that kind of transfer fee, but we need to try and make sure we get in there first and get it right. And this is one that has risk, but he's a cracking player. And
I think any transfer has a risk, if you ask me, Alex. Any sort of overseas transfer has a risk. You're always dealing with that risk element.
But I think the crowd will love him. I think the kind of, for anybody who hasn't seen this guy 100%,
play,
you'll absolutely kind of, he's got that Mitrovic vibe to him. Less crazy.
But you see tackles coming in from Cher and Burn and that, and the crowd and Bruno, and they're up for it. I mean,
he's that kind of guy. He's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
He will go in and absolutely annihilate people with a perfectly timed tackle and sort of knock him into next week. He's that kind of guy. He's so physical.
Yeah.
It does concern me how physical it is. It might be a little bit much, but
Eddie might have to trim a little bit off his game, but we'll see. Bendon Johnson says, "Come on, France has two good teams. It's just like Scotland. It's a massive gamble for me." I think you're doing that, doing Liga a little bit of disrespect there, mate. Because if you look back at the French players, not just that have come to Newcastle, but have been in the Premier League, you'll find that the positive far weighs outside the negative. With players that have not, I mean, some of they've played in other European leagues before coming to the Premier League, of course. However, Liga is not a bad league. I watch a lot of Liga and Bundesliga football, and I really enjoy it. And I think the football in Liga has improved, and certainly with the likes of Lens, for instance, they've had an uprising, if you like. They're in the Champions League this season. He's playing Champions League football. Let's not forget that. So he's got Champions League football experience this season as well. So he's a regular starter for Lens. I think this is a no-brainer for me. If we can get him for that price. For me,
I mean, there's a few people saying in the chat, Paul, and they're completely right. Let's not forget we bought Botman from Ligue 1, from Lille, and we bought Bruno from Ligue 1. Let's maybe shelf the attitude in regards to Ligue 1 for now. And I think
came from Liga. There's some talent there, really good talent. A couple of super chats. Jens says, "What do you know? Arsenal finding form before us." Yeah, but we're on form. And Gary Clark says, in head-to-head transfer battles, let's do like we will in the cup match. Newcastle 2, Arsenal 0. I mean, Arsenal seem to be linked with it. Before it used to be Chelsea, and now it seems to be Arsenal linked with every player that we are. But this is where we want to be. We want to be in with the big boys, roughing them up. Because I think
there's a few people, by the way, Paul, that are asking about his wage. I'm not sure. I can't find it on the stuff. I was more looking at the football. I can't imagine it's going to be very much. He went from Energetic BGU, which I'm presuming is a team in Uzbekistan, possibly. I could be wrong there. And it was €100,000 transfer fee. So, and Lens are not renowned for paying the biggest wages. I would say it's somewhere between €0 and €10,000.
Yeah,
probably on the lower end, probably 2, 3, 4,000 euros a week. So it's nothing that we couldn't improve on.
I think Lawrence is right here. Thinking people talk about players from league being a risk with so many flops we've had. Capella, Sabe, Riviere. I don't think Capella was a flop. I think he just wasn't given enough time. I think he would have been a great player. Henri Savé looked a really decent midfielder as well, but for some reason, Rafa didn't really fancy him. And Riviere, well, yes, obviously. Absolutely.
He's not French, is he? I'm pretty sure. Doesn't he play for some island somewhere?
Yeah, I'm not sure he is French. Yeah. Peter McCardle, member for 11 months, says if we sign him, like Hall, we will be giving Eddie time to develop. $2.5 a week. I think he means 25 grand a week. I can't see anybody signing for Newcastle.
There's no competition for him.
Yeah,
he's got an aging Fabian Schär who we don't know when he's gonna. We're not sure when he's gonna go. Whether it's in the end of this season, he's going to get another year, or at some point in the next 6 to 18 months, you'd imagine Fabian Schär is going to have finished with us anyway.
Yeah.
And then there's Emil Kraft. So and Lascelles, I'm assuming he's going to go. I guess. So it's open for a new guy to come in and stake his claim.
Yeah, nobody knows on Jamal Lascelles because it's just it's out there at the minute, isn't it? It depends how he does when he comes back. But I think Lascelles will move on as well as we move up the league. Sorry, Peter says, Paul, that's his wage. Right, so he's on $2.5 a week at Lens. He gets slightly more. Yeah, he gets slightly more at Newcastle, without a shadow of a doubt. Ben Arthur came from Liga. Demba Ba came from Liga. There's a lot of good players that we signed. Yes, we've had some trash, but we've also had some. Sissoko, didn't he come from Liga?
Toulouse.
Musa? Yeah, so there you go. Dean says, I was hoping to see Alex Murphy given a chance, but he, like a lot of young'uns, have disappeared. Well, listen,
he's left-footed, isn't he? So
I'm putting my full trust in Eddie. If Eddie doesn't think a player's ready, I'm putting my trust in him. So we'll wait and see. David Smith, he's been a member for 31 months now on the channel. Thank you so much, David. Happy New Year to you all, mods and members. As a long-standing member, can I ask we lay off the is Eddie safe polls unless we lose to Bromley? The polls have gone for Eddie. Me and Alex have been staunch on Eddie. We no more this season. Billy and Sam.
I've been Eddie in the entire season.
So far. I've never wanted Eddie Howe sacked.
No, I know, but there's been
questioned
people who have
him.
been on the fence.
Absolutely.
I've not declared I've been on the fence even once. I've been Eddie in. I've just been frustrated with results and performances.
But just because you criticize someone, Alex, doesn't mean you want him fired. So
100%.
Let's just put that one to bed. Dan Brown's been a member for 32 months on the channel. Thank you for your support, Dan. Anyone think with Schär's suspension, Eddie might consider looking at MacArthur? No. Maybe, listen, I think he might change it up for Bromley. We might see a few new faces in there. We'll just have to wait and see. But I think the way the league form is going at the minute and the cup forms, I think Eddie has an opportunity here to do well in all the tournaments this season. So let's keep fingers crossed. Right, player number 2. As we have over 1,600 watching, guys, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Please do subscribe if you are new to the channel, as we are pushing towards 35,000. And of course, give it a like if you're enjoying what we're showing tonight. Right, next player is, oh, for God's sake, Abdoulaye Djoumaba.
Yeah, that's fair. So
yes!
Abdoulaye Djoumaba from Sierra Leone. I've gone with the sofa score as the first image just because it's got his picture on it. So if we swap to his FB ref, sadly, they don't have a picture. I don't know why. So this is an interesting one. I don't think there's much in this, but he got linked, and I'd like to put some, not red herrings, but I like to give it a fair account. I don't just want to only review star names that get put in the front page of the Daily Mail. So I'd rather we get a bit of variety.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Craig. 18-year-old centre half. This doesn't show his height. He's really, really, really. I mean, I need a thesaurus for the transfer window. He's rather tall. I think he's about 195, 196 centimeters, which
is about 6'5".
What that is in real money.
Same as me.
It's
6'5",
really tall.
Yeah.
He's like 6'5", 6'6". He's a big boy for an 18-year-old. May I add? He's rather big. So he is playing for Valladolid in Spain in La Liga, which is obviously was. Am I allowed to say Fat Ronaldo? R9? I'm not sure what we're supposed to call him. Brazilian Ronaldo.
Brazilian Ronaldo would be more
poker
more
playing
of a
Ronaldo.
yes, fat Ronaldo. Jesus,
That's
Alex.
what everybody calls him, though, isn't it?
Well,
all the ex-players call
larger
him
than
that.
life Ronaldo. I used to, actually, as a kid, you know how everybody used to buy Barcelona and Real Madrid tops and stuff like that. I used to love fucking hell, I can't see it. Fucking say it out. That's them. I used to love their strips. You know, the purple that had sort of striped on the. I used to love their tops as a kid. I mean, they were always shit. Don't get me wrong; they're always getting relegated, then promoted and stuff. But
yeah, they've never been a powerhouse.
Valladolid. What the hell? How can't I say that?
It is a tough one. Anyway, let's scroll down and have a look at some data.
Yes, indeed. Please.
So, context before people furiously type about the passing. Context. Valladolid are having quite a difficult season in Spain. They are bottom of the league and they are basically the worst for every single metric. They are really struggling and they are basically dead and buried at this point. I'd be shocked if they don't get relegated. And he, to be fair to him, in the last recent weeks, has been putting up some colossal performances. They are gone. That he's basically just putting out fires with a bucket when the whole building's on fire. He's trying his best. It's kind of difficult for him to get some of these metrics up, given the condition of the team. They do play kind of moderately direct sometimes. His long balls, I think, are a little bit better than what this suggests.
Alex, I'm going to stop you there 2 seconds because I'm going to get this right. Adam's Media Room has sent me a very simple spelling of it. Valladolid. Valladolid. There you go. Thank you, Adam's Media Room. Much appreciated. Sorry, mate. Carry on.
So let's not beat around the bush. He's really good at defending. Again, his tackling is okay. He's quite gangly. It's a little bit Dan Burn-esque, but with slightly less grace. I think Dan Burn sometimes moves as though
less
you
girth,
can tell
Alex.
How tall he
less
is.
Girth. He's not as girthy.
Whereas this guy does move like he's a bit gangly, but he is a monster. Aerial win rate is in the top 4% in Europe. Clearances, he's in the top 1% in Europe. And he's very good at interceptions and blocks as well. He's competent. Let's not forget he's 18 years old. Tackles are okay as well. They're not terrible. The passing, I think I'm willing to overlook this based on the team he's in. I think it's having watched him researching for this show, and I've been keeping an eye on him for about 3 weeks now. So not loads of time. I've not seen him an awful lot, a little bit. I think this does him a bit dirty. I don't think his passing's that bad. I think that's really, really just indicative of how poor the team are that he's in. In terms of similar players statistically, you've got Romagnoli in there. Kurt Zuma's in there with a bit of data. There's a few people in there. Let's go and have a look at, well, first of all, let's show you the context of Valladolid, shall we? Yeah. So, FOTMob rating, they are worst. Goals per match, second to worst. Goals conceded per match, worst. Clean sheets, only in 12th. Not terrible there. Average possession, 41%. It's pretty bad. I mean, if we scroll down, they have 2 shots on target per match. So basically, Isak is probably more prolific than their entire team. Big
Wasn't it the Valladolid fans, Alex? That, you know, a couple of seasons ago, there was a clip on social media of the fans pointing arrows to where the goals were, and I'm sure it was Valladolid. I'm sure it was their fans.
It's very possible. It's very possible. I mean, for offensive metrics, they are.
It's dreadful.
I mean, they're not really good at anything.
No,
they don't.
They're not.
They're 14th for crosses.
Yeah.
Touches in the opposition box. There's not really a lot going on here.
The shit, Alex, is what you're trying to say.
They're 18th for corners. They're top for XG conceded, which is not a good thing. You want to be further down on that. 7th for interceptions. I guess there's something they're good at. Tackles and interceptions. They've only conceded 1 penalty.
Which goes to say how terrible they actually are.
I don't think they know how to press. That's really bad. So yeah, just to give you something as to what this poor young man is working with. Let's scroll down and have a look at some of his strengths, shall we? So recent fixtures. This is from back end of November. So I've watched December games. I've not watched proper games beforehand, only clips. But recent games, he's been very, very impressive. They did get absolutely tonked by Girona 3-0 in the recent game. We do know Girona,
which God, you lose to Getafe. Jesus
well,
Christ.
we know Girona because we played them in pre-season. So for
We
anybody
did
that went in the
indeed, yeah.
pre-season games, of course, they've got Van der Beek and Blind, but we did tear them a new one. But this is Valladolid with the back five, and there is Mr. Jumabar, the right-sided centre-half position, and he got a 6.8, so not terrible. That is some defensive work he got through in this match. 6 clearances, a block shot, 3 interceptions, 3 tackles, 3 out of 4 ground duels. They basically did not try and contest him aerially because there's just no point. And I think quite reasonable passing statistics. 4 out of 7 long balls is not bad at all. It's over half, 78%, 54 touches of the ball. Again, considering they lost this 3-0, I think it's just the quality of the team is so poor. And then in the 1-0 win against Valencia, very, very impressive there. There he is in a 4-2-3-1. He got the highest what's the word I'm looking for? Score. There we go. Highest score out of the team. Played the full 90 minutes. And now this is ridiculous. 13 clearances. I don't think I've seen anybody have that many clearances on their own. That's normally like a team statistic. That's just him. 13 clearances. Madness. 3 block shots, 2 tackles, 1 clearance off the line, 6 out of 8 aerial duels. I don't know who he's losing aerial duels to, similarly to Dan Burn. 2 out of 4 ground duels as well. And again, not terrible on the ball. 53 touches, 74% passing accuracy. In a team like this, it's going to be hard to get better. 2 out of 7 long balls. So yeah, he is very much, I wouldn't say a diamond in the rough. I think the rough being his own.
Where's Valladolid in the league table, Alex? I presume the bottom.
They're rock bottom, Paul. They are not. They're not doing well. If we go and have a look,
I think I've watched them about 3 or 4 times this season, and they've been absolutely well.
They're down. They're down there, right at the bottom. They've got 12 points.
It's not all over. They're only 4 points behind Getafe. But look, you said a win over Valencia, Alex. Look where Valencia are. Second bottom.
Yeah, but they're always hot and cold, aren't they?
Well,
but this is a weird one in terms of whether I would like this. I mean, actually, let's check his transfer marked. What's his name? Juma Bar. Scroll up, type him in. Juma Bar. There he is. Global Soccer Management. He's from Freetown in Sierra Leone. And to be fair, don't do it now, everybody, but once we've actually finished the transfer show, there's a lovely interview of him on the Valladolid YouTube channel of kind of his rise and started playing in the Sierra Leone Premier League and stuff, and he got his move to Spain. Very interesting. He speaks English, so on loan. Oh, I didn't realize he's actually on loan. That's a drop ball from me. AIK Freetong. I didn't realize that. So let's have a look at the transfer. AIK Freetong. Presumably that is the Sierra Leone Premier League team that he's on loan from.
It sounds like well, I'm not saying that because I'll probably get hammered for it. So yeah, I mean,
contract.
Look, ends in the summer.
Contract? Yeah, I don't know if that's the contract at Freetong or if that is. Yeah, we'll have to check. Again, it's not going to be crazy money. This is going to be a real cheap pickup. This is kind of the Yankuba Minte kind of signing. You're looking at trying to find somebody who could be amazing. Would he work for us? This is definitely this could work in 3 to 5 years. This is not one for now at all. I appreciate he's a little bit older than kind of a youth player, being 18, nearly 19. But he looks like somebody who could play at a higher level, definitely. Whether it's us, I'm not sure.
I did have to laugh there, Alex, when you said Sierra Leone Premier League.
It is a thing. It is a thing.
Oh, dear.
And there's some clips of him playing for a team in Sierra Leone, and he's like bursting through the middle as an attacking midfielder. So it just goes to show the standard of a lot of people who play the kind of exceptional attackers. When they move to a different team, they do tend to get moved positionally.
Interesting. Obviously, that one isn't well, like you said at the start, it's slim pickings on that one, whether that actually happens. But as to Kusanov, I think
he has been linked, but
absolutely.
I
Well,
remember...
every player that's been linked, every player that we do on these shows has been linked.
I mean, where was he linked from? I don't know if we've got this written down anywhere. It was the Athletic.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Interesting. Todd Bowley even says he's one to watch. Well, I'm sure you will, Todd.
This is a really tough one, though. This guy could end up sort of championship level, or
well, it's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
He could end up a world
Really
beater,
difficult.
or he could end up as a sort of League Two.
That's
player.
why you've got to be a proper scout to try and figure out if he's going to work.
Yeah.
It's
watching
really
many
far
times.
too difficult.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's never easy, but this is why Newcastle have so many scouts. It's so important for certainly. I mean, any football club themselves, but for the top tier league teams, they've really the risk of a transfer is so big. They've got to get it right. They've got to.
This is less risky because of the price, but yeah, I think let him finish his season in Spain, and then it will be reassessed. Somebody will pick him up.
Yeah. Right. Final player of the evening. Just wait till I get the go-ahead screen there from Alex, and then
yeah, give me 1 sec. Actually, if you want to read a couple of comments.
Okay. Ray says, still think Miggy is worth a bit more than 5 to 10 million. Maybe not. I think maybe not, mate. I think if we get 5 to 10 for Miggy, we're going to be lucky. Listen, I think there's apparently a £5 million bid already been made, so I have no doubt Miggy's on his way in January. And you know what? Good luck to him. Go and do your stuff, Miggy, and go and finish your career. If we get 5 to 10, I'd be happy with that, to be honest. Geordie Dan says Chelsea have more players than a football sticker collection. They can back the hell off.
Well, Chelsea have got 2 fantastic players coming from South America at the end of this season, and Andre Santos, who's coming back off loan in Ligue 1 as well. So they've got 3 big hitters to come back and join that squad that they've already paid for, which is madness.
Ball Geordie says he'd buy 2 so far, both of them. So thank you.
Well, we may be doing a poll.
Yes. A poll or a poll, Alex? It depends how you... It's a poll. It's a poll. It's just spelled.
I've got an E on the end.
It doesn't matter. You don't say, like, many words in life, you don't pronounce some of the letters, do you? Like, I'm going to...
You don't say the M6 toll.
I'm going to knock on your door. You know what I mean? Anyway, final player of the evening is Matthias Cunha. Now, this guy has been linked quite heavily, actually, in the last couple of days. A lot of people talking about the fact that he is currently serving a ban for what happened at the end of the game against Ipswich Town, of course. It all kicked off at the end of that. He will be available for the game against us, so he will be back for then. But there is a lot of talk about this guy, I have to say. But the problem is, Alex, last time I read, he plays mainly on the left. Am I right?
He can play ananywhere across the front three, in my opinion. I think for Wolves,
he is right-footed, though.
Yes, but I've always known him as more of a forward, a striker. But again, I've known Matheus Cunha since the Leipzig days. And obviously, I think he went to, was it Atletico he went to? I think it was Atletico. So he's been around for ages and ages and ages and ages. Watched loads of Champions League stuff with him over the years. He's not a secret. He's been around for a very long time. I'm surprised he's ended up at Wolves, to be fair. I thought he was going to be playing for a team consistently in the Champions League. He just never quite took that step. Is 25 years old now. And in terms of fitting into our dressing room, well, he's Brazilian, so I think that would fit like a glove. I think we've basically conceded that the Callum Wilson project is, well, I'm sure he wouldn't want that, but I think it's
not even a project
done
anymore. Yeah.
No, thank you for everything, Callum. But again, it contracts up and not fit. It's likely that we might look at somebody to bolster the forward line, possibly in the summer. And this guy is coming up to peak age, absolutely banging him in the Premier League. Issue is it would be really, really expensive because he is 25 years old and he's absolutely banging him in what had been quite a poor Wolves side until they I don't know why they took so long to get rid of Gary O'Neill. He was a terrible manager.
Yeah, not a fan of his, are you, Alex, to be fair?
Well, there was all of this nonsense about Bournemouth should never have sacked him, when in reality, the underlying metrics for Bournemouth was so bad under him.
Yeah.
They made a really good call. And Iraola's been fantastic for them. So one thing I'd like to bring everybody's attention to is the fact that he scored 10 goals. And I know not everybody likes this, but his XG is 4.1. That's a bit of an overperformance, to say the least. That is...
It's huge.
Yeah, that's enormous. Typically, people can overperform by 1 or 2. It happens. But to be overperforming by 6, not sustainable. Absolutely not sustainable. Unless this guy progresses to go and be a Ballon d'Or winner, this will not be sustainable. This will change. Maybe there's an argument to be made 1 or 2 of those are fair because he's just a good quality player. I think that's completely fair. I think he's a great player. But this is it's a considerable overperformance. He has been shortchanged somewhat in the assists. He's good for 5 or 6. He's only got 4. Again, that's down to teammates. So I think this is massively inflated. If you're not going to get this from him, if we were to sign him, you're not going to consistently get that kind of performance out of him and those kinds of numbers. It's just not a thing.
Yeah.
That being said, his data, again, he's been played as a wide forward, as a forward, so the data's kind of a bit mixed. You know, if you look at him as a forward, everything's really, really great. If you look at him as a wide forward, a winger, changes a bit. So it's better off having a look at the general data. He does take 3 shots a game, which is really healthy. He gives himself the best opportunity to get goals and get these kinds of numbers because he's taking 3 shots a game. So that's really, really important. He's a very good progressor of the ball as well, whether it's passing or just running with it, take-ons. He's got a little bit of flair. He's got pace. He's got passion. He's got power. He's got all of the above. Defensive numbers are okay. Works hard as well. And if we scroll down and have a look at who he's profiling like...
Just before you do that, Alex, I've put the poll up already, mate, for tonight.
You got the poll up, yeah?
Yeah, basically just saying, who is your preferred signing from tonight's show? Is it Kusanov, is it Bar, or is it Cunha? So the poll is up. We'll revisit that in about 10 minutes or so. So get voting, guys, who your preferred signing is from tonight. Carry on, mate. Yeah,
so statistical comparisons. Gordon's on the list. Rogers, Eze, Madueke, Dani Olmo, who, by the way, isn't going to be able to play for Barcelona, which is funny, but that's a different show. And if we swap to forwards, you've got Jared Bowen on there, Griezmann, Moreno, Alvarez, Charles de Ketelaere, which Paul is taking a liking to.
He is a good player.
Some impressive players on this list, definitely. Recent games, let's go and have a look, shall we? I mean,
guys, there's a couple of people mentioned Marcus Rashford in the chat. No chance in hell. Well, we're going to go for Marcus Rashford. No, we haven't. And the longer we aren't linked, the better for me. I don't want him anywhere near my football club. No way. Bad apple, bad egg.
If we get linked, he'll go on the list, but it's going to be it will be a short review.
No way we paying him the wages he wants. Definitely not. Anyway.
So before I even click on any games, you can instantly see there this run. I mean, this is from the 2nd of November all the way through to now. Yeah. Look at the ratings, the quality of the ratings, assist and a goal, assist and 2 goals, a goal, assist and a goal. It's a lot of consistent output against a variety of teams as well. This is against Palace, Southampton, Fulham. Who else you got in here? Ipswich, Leicester. Okay, so it was an easier run of fixtures. He wasn't doing this against Champions League standard opposition. I mean, Man United are in that list as well.
I mean, it's funny how we're clashing Man United is an easier fixture now. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, they are, aren't they?
Of course they are, yeah. Absolutely.
So let's go and have a look at one of the games because why not? So the 58th minute strike. So yeah, they've obviously got the Larson up front. So Cunha's kind of a slightly deeper forward. Does remind me a little bit of Isak in that he kind of prefers to have a few more touches of the ball if possible. He likes to get involved in some dribbles and contributing. He doesn't always like just standing on the 6-yard box, although Isak can do a bit of both. He was the highest rated player in this game as well. And if we scroll down, he got his goal, he got an assist, 4 out of 6 completed dribbles. Again, he's very good at those take-ons and progressing the ball up the pitch. A couple of shots on target. He was involved a lot in this match as well. Was this the one where Man United had a red card?
He scored. Yes, he scored from a corner, Alex. He did what Tricky tried to do. He scored from the corner. I'm sure it was.
I didn't realise it was him that scored from the corner.
I'm pretty sure it was.
But yeah, I mean, this is inflated because of the red card. You don't often see somebody in his position getting 93 touches of the ball, but he's quite happy to pick it up anywhere. There was a lot of analysis. I think Match of the Day mentioned this as well, where he was just picking the ball up, left back, right back, centre half, midfield. He just wanted the ball everywhere. He just wanted to play football. Very Brazilian in that regard. He doesn't care where he is. Physicality as well. Look at that. 13 out of 22 ground duels. I mean, it's 50-ish%. But by God, did he want that ball? Anytime the ball was anywhere near him, he wanted the ball.
Yeah.
It's just so up for it. I do love his attitude. I appreciate he's massively overperforming at the moment in terms of his goal output, but his attitude is out of possession. Work rate is great. I think he would fit in the social group of the team as well. Bertolucci Sports. Let's have a look at his agent because I haven't seen that. So as they
worries me about this guy, Alex, is the cost. I think he's going to cost a lot of money.
He's going to be expensive. Yes, he's going to cost a lot of biscuits. So yeah, make sure we don't neglect the stack in January, guys, because we need the money. If we're going to buy players like this, he's going to be really expensive.
Yep. Get yourselves to the stack. Help our transfer funds.
I mean, look at his national team career to date as well. 16 appearances for the Brazil U23s with 15 goals, 11 caps for the full senior team. And getting capped for Brazil is well, up front is not quite as hard with Richarlison, but left forward, they have Vinicius Jr. So getting capped there, they've also got Rodrigo as well. So he's done well considering. Can play anywhere across the front three. His contract at Wolves does expire in 2027. So they are well within the rights to tell everybody to go fish. And unfortunately, their turn in form, it means they're probably not going to get relegated. So we are going to get told to go fish. It's going to be a big, big fee. Who is agency? They are Brazilian. Oh, look who's at the top of the list.
Well, would you believe that? It's Bruno himself. I was just going to say, you know, I know he'll cost a lot of money to get out of Wolves, but I think, you know, if Newcastle did genuinely want this guy, the pulling power that Newcastle would have, A, league position, B, form, and C, the fact that we already have 2 Brazilian players in the starting lineup, I think would be a massive pull for him.
Yeah, it's squad place that concerns me.
Well, it's where he would play, Alex. I mean, you know, that's the problem.
If Callum goes, he can be in the squad, but then would he want to play where Gordon plays?
And we're not going to pay that kind of money for somebody to sit behind Isak, are we? You know, in the pecking order, he's got to be on the pitch somewhere.
I mean, again, if we want to sort of transition, it depends where we are in the journey and how our finances are going to be. You know, if we could get some really good sales and have some good money. If this is the kind of signing to help us transition into a title challenging side, you know, obviously we need considerably more players than just him. We could do with 4 or 5 really competent players to add to the squad. But this is the kind of signing. But again, I'm being hypocritical here because we've just had a long conversation about. Oh, I took myself off screen there. Sorry. We had a long conversation about Paul Mitchell being able to find value where others can't, so we can make this stretch a lot more financially. And then I've gone and put Cunha on screen. We've been linked, so we will talk about him, but I feel like we can't keep signing players like him. We just can't do it because there's going to be a lot of competition for players like him in the Premier League.
But is that not what we want, though, Alex? Is that not what we want? It's certainly competition.
I don't think we can. We can't afford to do it. We can't afford to do, you know, Arsenal, Spurs, you know, putting up for Richarlison, Solanke, and Arsenal throwing money at Havertz, and we haven't got the money to continuously do this. We haven't got it. And for us to progress, we all know that we need 4 or 5 good players to add to this squad. Whether it's a new centre half, a right winger, somebody to replace Callum in the squad, we need those improvements over the next few years. And we can't spend 40 to 60 on all of those areas. There isn't the money. So we're going to have to get maybe a cheaper option than this, in my opinion.
Well, of course, a lot will depend on some of the outgoings, and the only outgoing at the minute that seems very probable very soon is Miggy Almiron, of course. Apparently, a bid from Brazil has come in. Apparently, there's 6 or 7 teams, very interested in signing Miggy. Nothing. I mean, Eddie spoke about Dubravka again, reiterated that because James Trafford has been mentioned many, many times, but we're not sure on that. It all depends. I think if Dubravka leaves, that's up to Dubravka. I think if he gets an offer from Saudi with incredible money, I can't see Dubravka staying. I think Newcastle would have to take that deal and then bring in another goalkeeper.
I've got the team. So apparently it's Palmeiras, Santos, Sao Paulo, Botafogo, Olympiacos, and then Charlotte FC as well.
Yeah. Toronto FC have been in the mix as well yesterday. They were mentioned. Gary Clark, thank you for your super chat. It's fine, Alex. The money players are good as comparison points.
True. Very true.
Absolutely. Right, let's take a look at the poll. So who was you guys number one? We asked who has been your preferred signing from tonight's show. It is a clear winner, Alex, and it's Kusanov with 74%.
Yeah, that would be my favourite out of the 3 tonight as well.
Yeah, Cunha was 23%. Bar is at 4%.
Poor Bar. Juma Bar. Remember the name. He'll go somewhere.
He will.
Maybe not Charles today.
He could end up being an absolute superstar, but he could be.
I'm not sure he'll be a superstar, but I definitely think he will.
No, but he could be a flop. It could be very close, to be honest. It's a risk either way. But listen, guys, that is it for the transfer show tonight. But however, we will be bringing you a lot of these, as Alex said at the start of the show, throughout the month. If there's any breaking news on signings, I will go live. If any of my colleagues are available to go live with me, they will, depending on what time of the day it is, or if it's a weekend or whatever. We will continue to do these. Even if we've got a scheduled show on a night time, we may well stick a transfer show in somewhere else along and do 2 shows a day and stuff like that, because Alex has a notepad full. And listen, we love doing these shows because we get a bit of a... Well, there you go. We have a good insight into these players. We'll take a good look into the stats, what they could bring to this, what they could bring to the team. We never say that these are definite signings. We're not in the know or anything. We just go with the links that have been made, and we take an in-depth look at the players to see what they could bring should they ever sign for Newcastle United. So it's great doing these. It's great listening to you guys or reading what you guys say in the chat. Whether you're interested in them coming to Newcastle or not. So there will be plenty of these. Of course, we expect breaking news shows going on throughout this month, because I think Newcastle will be busy this month, guys. So keep your eyes open.
There's going to be a lot more shows for transfers. Yeah. There's so many players.
Keep your eyes open for breaking news shows, recorded news shows, transfer shows. They will all be coming. Tomorrow night, of course, 7 o'clock, we've got the match preview for the Tottenham game. As Newcastle, it's a fucking lunchtime kickoff on Saturday, Alex. I hate 12:30 kickoffs. I despise them. I just don't think we play very well at but again, it's another course.
I've got the opposite opinion to that. I don't understand why we can't perform at lunchtime kickoffs, or just football players in general, not us.
But
because
it is a chance
that's normally the time they train.
Yeah,
but that's normally the time they train. So in terms of their routine, you would think that they would have their breakfast, they would be geared up for it. It's quite a normal thing for their bodies to go through. Whereas for me, I'd have thought nighttime games would have been really hard for players, because you're not used to training at 8 p.m. So some of these lads are still running at 9:30 at night, but they don't normally do that unless it's a match condition. So I find it weird.
I think it's the match day, the whole process of a match day, Alex, with the pre-match meals and stuff like that, it all gets thrown out. I think player-wise, you look to an afternoon kickoff or an evening kickoff. Your day's planned out a little bit better than having to go on the pitch and play at 12:30 at lunchtime. But the train then, so there shouldn't really be any excuse. And it's another chance.
As an amateur, I've only ever played at lunchtime. I've never. Yeah. Well, it's very rare when you play non-league football. You play at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday or something. So you normally play the weekend at lunchtimes.
Yeah. Friday, we've got the press conference reaction, of course, at 11 o'clock. And if Eddie is asked anything about transfers, just pay no attention to what he says because he'll be bluffing. And TTR Friday is back this week. So we'll get some football chat, some banter, some laughs, and of course, your chance to join us and have your say on Newcastle United ahead of the game and how you think the last few weeks have gone. So loads coming up, but obviously we will do breaking news for transfers and things like that throughout the month as well. So please do hit the like button if you've enjoyed the show, guys. And of course, subscribe if you're new and you like what you see. It is free to do so. But please do hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload or a live show. Thank you very much for your super chats and memberships tonight. Thank you to the mods and to Alex. But as usual, a huge thank you to you guys out there. 1,600 turning up tonight to watch the transfer show. Thank you for all your support as we continue to be the #1 watched live Newcastle United channel. It's absolute honour, and we really do appreciate it. So thank you very much, guys, and we'll see you all tomorrow. In the meantime, good night.
Away the lads and lasses.
Come back and check out some green.